How's it going, everybody? I just wanted to pop in for a second and talk to y'all about something. And I want to talk to you about aftermarket parts. More specifically, pistons and cylinders. So there's this big stigma around aftermarket parts, and I understand. For the longest time they just weren't nowhere near good as good as OEM, hands down. But here in the past 3 or 4 years, there's a few companies that's made really large strides in aftermarket pistons and cylinders. Meteor has been kind of the top for a long time. They've been producing aftermarket stuff for a long time, and they were kind of the go-to. If you were going to use one, you would use Meteor, right? So, or Tecomec. Tecomec was making a lot of pretty high quality aftermarket pistons and cylinders as well. The one on my 361 is Tecomec, and there are a couple things that I didn't like about it versus an OEM cylinder, but there were a few things that I really liked versus the OEM cylinder, and it was mostly the squish band and combustion chamber on the Tecomec was much better than the stock cylinder. So I just corrected everything that I didn't like everywhere else and made it that much better without having to do any machine work. So that was really nice, and it runs exceptionally well. You'll probably have already seen it before you see this video if you stay up to date. But I just want to point out some things on this highway cylinder I just got. This is Mr. Ken's cylinder. We're building a saw for him. It's a Johnson Red 2159, and it uses a 47cc top end. And my arm's getting tired, I'm sorry, so I gotta prop it up. Uses a 47cc. It uses a 59cc top end that is 47 millimeters. Alright, so it is kind of the quasi or semi-pro farm ranch model of, say, the 357 XP. The 357 XP uses a closed loop system for transfers, which gives it more horsepower than the 359, even though it's smaller. The 359's using this removable transfer. It's still case fed, but it's like quasi open port. You would just have to see the cylinder to understand what I'm saying. It doesn't feed like the it doesn't feed like the 357. The 357 feeds like a 372. The 359 doesn't. So when we decided to pick out a cylinder, I was doing my research, and I found that the big bore kit for the 357, which is a 47 millimeter in highway, is the same design as the stock 357 cylinder. So it's got the same sort of transfer design as the smaller 357. which is superior to what the 359 cylinder is. So I asked Mr. Ken, I told him I would like to use the Highway because it's a superior design and is the same size as the 359 and the 2159. So he said go for it. So I just want to show you some things. I got the cylinder in today. First off, the overall finish is excellent. It's a little bit different color than a stock cylinder. The stock cylinder is more of a kind of white, a light gray. This is more of a silver, and I think Highway does this on purpose. They like for their stuff to stand out, but the finish of the casting is pretty exceptional. I've been staring at the cylinder the last 10 minutes, and everything just looks great on it. All right, so into the important stuff. Look at this. Look at the squish band. It almost looks like it's been cut. Squish band and the combustion chamber are just really tight. And then the transfers are ginormous. The upper transfers. Look at that. Which we'll do some modification to those if they need it after I port map it. I mean, I'll probably clean them up a little bit, but how big those are. Look at the chamfer they put on everything. It's pretty nice. If you'll focus. Having a issue focusing. The crosshatch they put in here is really attractive. The plating looks finished extremely well and looks pretty thick. As thick or almost as thick as OEM. Alright, so the 359 cylinder essentially doesn't have this septum here until it gets down here. Same on that side. So what we're gonna do is, you already can see my marks there. I have some marks for, I put these on the case and made a few marks in some areas that I saw were kind of impeding flow. So that'll be the first thing I take off. And there's plenty of gains down here to be had. And I'm also gonna probably gonna take this down a little bit. Probably about 50 or 60 thousandths down through here, because this is sloped down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna level that off so it's at a bring that slope on down to about right here, and remove, you know, a little chunk of that just to help a little bit with volume in the lower transfers. Look at how pretty that is. Highway, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but I just want to let you know that y'all are doing a fantastic job with your casting and design. So keep improving, so that way all these people who are constantly saying OEM is better can't talk bad about you anymore, which, I mean, they can't hardly talk bad about you now, because this is better looking than some OEM cylinders I've seen. So that is that. Just a beautiful cylinder. Alright, well, I just wanted to show y'all that. I felt the need to kind of say, hey, these things aren't as bad as some people think they are. And if you look at it from a building standpoint and you know what to look for, this cylinder right here looks exceptionally well made. As far, I say well made, exceptionally well designed. Transfers are larger than stock. Squish band is better. The combustion chamber is smaller and better. I mean, it's just all the way around. So anyway, hope y'all enjoyed. We'll see you next time.